The idea of RevLens is to manage revenue recognition from the start of a transaction, what we call a sales document, through transforming that into a revenue agreement, which is essentially changing the sales document that comes into the system, applying rules so that it can be recognized according to ASC 606 and IFRS 15. First, we've got inbound sales documents, and those can come in either through an upload here under administration, through sales documents. They can also come via APIs. So there's APIs where we can post new documents for an automated integration. And then there's also the ability to enter documents manually via our workbench. And once the documents are in the system, they will reference some rules for transforming the sales document into a revenue agreement. First, there's different document types, and within each document type, we can define if it's going to allocate fair value or be held for review in the workbench. And at the item level, each item will have rules that define how the revenue will be amortized over a time period, straight line, percent complete, milestone, as well as any fair values that are required if there's fair value allocation needed for that particular item. Then there's other documents like customers, businesses, other master records that are maintained in the system. And once the sales documents come in, they look up the type of document that it is, turn them into performance obligations via the fair value engine or the revenue rules defined for each item. Then they become a revenue agreement. If there's any issues with the revenue agreement being imported, they'll be held back on the workbench, and you can resolve any issues and then finalize that into a revenue agreement. And once the revenue agreement is created, it's an active document and can be managed. Look at revenue history, change any start dates, change the term, things like that. It can be managed. Then each month we compute and post the revenue, for a given time period, end of the month, calculate, post. And now it's time for reporting. Once the revenue has been recognized, you can either via a report within the application itself or via OData API or via web service APIs with Excel or Power BI, you can report on the revenue and the deferred revenue at the end of each month. You can also compare the change between multiple time periods to see what the additions were, what revenue was recognized, and what the ending balance of deferred revenue is. And then we've got dashboards. We have other videos that go into a bit more detail regarding how documents are onboarded, how active revenue agreements are managed, and on how to report and compute and report information. So you can reference those